3, 2.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the High Button Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Duty on the switcher, dudes. Night in the basement last night. Big night last night in the city. How are you feeling?
I think the obvious one's a little seedy, but I think with what we got done yesterday and what we got to do, it all makes sense. And I think people would expect nothing less of us.
There's nothing better. Well, there is things better, but this is up there in my books. When there's a nice little event going on in the city and you can feel the energy in the city. It's like when I walked out my front door yesterday knowing that Pittsburgh was about to play Ottawa, you just felt it. It was in the air. It was in the atmosphere. Same thing. It's just a magical feeling that coming from this city. Like I was up in Boston for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. Like, don't get me wrong, there was an energy in the city. It was exciting for sure. But they get to see professional basketball every year.
It's true.
Professional sports, yeah, we have the Thunderbirds, but like having Sid here, that's a different type of energy. And waking up yesterday, grinning ear to ear, knowing Highmore's there, Batherson's there. And just knowing we're doing street interviews, we're working, we're doing what we love. I don't know. Just the city is just vibrant whenever you get those days. It was awesome, unbelievable.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you get to see everyone too. It's a family reunion. It's a family reunion.
Man, is it ever a family reunion? Like, what do we do when we first pulled up? We were like, all right, normally what we do is we game plan a little bit. We get out of the car, we do a lap, we see how the streets are doing before we, jump out with the camera. But as soon as we got out of the car yesterday, it was like, no. Let's get the camera now, because you're just seeing everybody. Anybody who you've known through the hockey world at any point, playing against them, foes, friends, anybody, coaches, they were there. It was the who's who of the hockey world, and like you said, just knowing that we had Sid and all those guys, Graves and Batherson and Highmore, those guys coming here for the first time, basically for 2 NHL full teams, it was electric. And I think once the video drops, you'll see how crazy it actually was. As far as bodies, anyways, the electricity probably could have been a little higher, I think. Pittsburgh didn't score, so it's different. But the city, man, like the lineups around Scotiabank Center were absolutely nuts.
Nuts. Absolutely insane. And shout out to the NHL and shout out to Pittsburgh and Ottawa. I don't know who to thank in this situation, but bravo on the lineups.
Yeah.
Bravo on the lineups. We watched an NHL game. We didn't watch an NHL preseason game. That was they could have counted that for regular season. That was a game. Full lineups there. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, the obviouses are, Sid's there, there's the names there, but you got to look at, Tarasenko's playing out there, Giroux's out there, Carlson's out there, Malkin's out there, Letang's out, like, there's so many names out there, just absolute, like, there are arguably 5 Hall of Famers in that game yesterday. Definitely 3, Letang, Sid, Malkin.
Yep.
You could maybe say Giroux could be on the fence there.
Carlson,
when it's all said and done, Tarasenko, I don't know, just legends of the game that we like to call hockey, and we got to watch it from 3 rows up. And do I sometimes wish I lived in a city where I could watch NHL hockey on a Tuesday? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Who doesn't? You're waking up and you're telling yourself, I want to, you're a liar. I wish I did sometimes. But I will say this, when NHL hockey comes here, when big events come here, it makes it just that much more special. We all remember that time Bedard got that overtime winner against
Czech Republic, I think, or Slovakia, maybe.
Everyone's going, Belly, you don't even remember who they're playing.
Well, I mean, Jesus.
There was like 20 games that week. But all, old man sipping out of a straw, I'll remember that. Yeah. And, we go to the 90-year-old man sipping out of a straw right now. I'll remember Pittsburgh rolling in here. Getting to interview Sid's dad,
True.
Troy.
Yeah.
Just a weapon.
That's a big one too, honestly, because it's funny too, because I'm normally the person that recognizes people, like, oh, that's this person, because you're usually in the zone, to be fair. And you were like, hey, Troy, can we get a quick interview? And I'm going, all the Troys go through my head, like Troy Dumville, like, all these guys that you just heard before. I never once thought, I may not have even known that Sid's dad was named Troy.
Oh yeah, it's Troy Crosby.
Until last night. But yeah, that was pretty cool, man. They were a great family. I know they probably get asked to do lots of stuff, but they kind of keep themselves out of the limelight. I think they let the Sid show go on in his own world there.
Well, I was telling people like in the crowd, they're like, so because they saw me doing interviews before, so people were like, how'd the interviews go? Like, who'd you get? And I go, we got Troy Crosby. And everyone's like, how? Like, I don't know. I just put a mic in his face and start talking. Timing, I guess. Because if you think about it, when was the last time you saw Troy in an interview? You know, don't remember. Earlier Sid days.
I haven't. I don't remember seeing him at all.
It wasn't even an interview. It was just a quick little, how are you? But still, you know what I mean? It's great timing. It's good story.
You killed me after that too, because you're like, was that good? Because I blacked out, and because I think it caught us both by surprise, walking up the street, and we saw him, and you just kind of got to get in that zone right away, because we just did the outro, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you keep the camera rolling. That's our rule.
Kudos to you.
Always be filming.
Always be filming.
And you like, I know for you, because a lot of the time when I'm on the other side of the camera, I have the headphones in, right? So, and I can hear your thoughts a lot of time. Like yesterday, you were like, get the mojo back, get the mojo back. Because you talk to yourself, right? So then I'm like, okay, we did the outro. He's kind of settling down. Now it's time to get into fan mode after we did the work. And then boom, Troy Crosby pops up, and you're like, right back into the mix. And yeah, it was a quick interview, but I think at the end of the day, that's something that he'll appreciate, not standing there, him trying to get in the game. It was 10 seconds.
Oh my God. He was there with, the whole family, Sid's wife, like Sid's sister. Like, I'm not trying to, that's a big part of this business, and not how we've gotten ahead, but we don't ask for things that you should ask for on the spot.
Yep.
When Andrew Bondarchuk comes on here, when he's leaving, I go, can you text Brad for me and tell him, like when I see Dixon, I'm not going, Dixon, can you get Crosby to come on the pod? It's just, you don't do that. No. And in that very moment, I think with Troy, just a little quick 1-2, Troy, how are you? Are you excited for the game? Yada, yada. Let him be, let him go. I think there's a level of respect there. I could be talking out my ass, but I hope, this is what I hope he's thinking. Oh, good guys.
Well, at the end of the day, we did see them later on the night, and they did make a quick sec for us.
Yeah.
So that says probably more than anything. It could have easily, because you know how easy it is to just see somebody coming and just kind of, oh, my phone's ringing, or oh, just 1 second, yeah, no, I got a text, right? Yeah. But they, no, we talked to the mom and dad later, and they were super nice. And it's like, you got to think, man, we were talking about this morning, Crosby Mania, that's what we were calling it. Think about being your parents, my parents going around. Imagine Johnny or rolling around downtown seeing Doodle jerseys, right? Obviously, that's not the case, but Crosby jerseys everywhere, man. People that are 90, people that are 10, people that are 6, and they're rolling around with Crosby jerseys like it's Rimouski jerseys, Pittsburgh jerseys. Like it was incredible. So to be his parents would be probably a little bit overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, pretty cool, man. He did a lot for the city in a short period of time here.
100%. Is the one, okay, that's sick. The new camera. Every time you click one, the red light goes on, but when you click two, it doesn't. So I'm like, oh, it's not on, but that's sick.
Things you learn, hey?
That camera, man, it's tricky, but we're figuring it out.
It's definitely a game changer.
Going back to before the game, lineups outside, crazy, just insane. I don't know, going back to the, we don't live in these cities that have events all the time, so I'm not a big event guy. But holy smokes, it probably took 45 minutes to get in that place. I'm not going to sit here and bet shit on the rink, but man, we got to make that a little bit quicker. We missed 10 minutes of warm-up. Yeah.
And warm-up's kind of like that thing as a hockey fan that you really want to see,
Well, I had a rant on it the last podcast. These NHL guys warm-up, luckily we saw at least 10 minutes of warm-up, but even in that 10 minutes, those little backhand sauces, those little, flip it up in the air, catch it, how you doing? It's just those little things you just, that's 90-year-old man straw mentality. You'll remember that for 100%. I don't know.
It's like hockey porn for the fan, that's the, when you're like, how many times during the game did we sit there and go, it wasn't a goal, it wasn't a huge hit, it was like a little tiny hands together saucer pass that landed perfectly on the tape, or a one-touch pass through the middle, and it's just like, you laugh because you're like, at a certain point in your head, you go, oh, I was pretty good, I thought I was pretty good, and then you watch these guys and you're like, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
These guys are ridiculous. The smallest things.
I remember Carlson was one play, he was just doing a simple D to D, but he was on his backhand, and in the boards how the white is a little bit more, the white part of the boards is bouncier than the yellow part of the board. Which is on the ice, and Carlson just lifted it perfectly 7 to 8 inches, 7 to 8, 8 to 7, Crosby, inches off the ice, and it just bounced perfectly to Letang, and Letang didn't have to adjust his body or look. It was just boom, boom, far winger, and being 3 rows up and getting to see that up close and personal was so much fun. It just doesn't justify it on TV.
Oh my
It is
God,
good,
no.
like you notice on TV, but to see it, and also like I know, shout out to Kelly, I love you, buddy. Like we loved the ice was a little choppy in the corner. It's a hot rink. There's nothing you can do. It was just a little choppy, but the guys were zinging it like there was nothing going on with the ice.
Crazy adjustments throughout the game.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Like, I'd be complaining all game.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I can't make a pass. It's chipping the ice. I'd be complaining all game. But holy smokes. Just
Man.
world class right there.
Just thinking about it kind of makes me smile. It's going to sound cheesy, but like, World Juniors NHL game in the same year. That's the first thing. The second thing is, like you said, you touched on it a minute ago. I said this 4 or 5 times to you during the game. Like, shout out to the NHL for giving us the full deal. Because like you said, preseason's great. Don't get me wrong. They still draw well, but that was full lineups, dude. Like the best of the best NHLers on their respective teams, 3 rows away from us. It was pretty crazy, man. Like it still probably hasn't even fully set in. I think in a couple days we'll really start to remember things, and because it's still so fresh, right? Like I'm still in the jersey, for Christ's sakes. But
You slept right there.
yeah, over there on Duty's bed.
It was a big studio night last night, that's for sure.
Going back to the ice, the bad ice. That's what we talked about with Troy at the end. It was like, they didn't score because the ice was shitty. We're making excuses for the players, but like you said, man, they didn't seem to be. Of course, they're going to talk about it. They're probably saying, "Geez, boys, like, was that choppy out there for you or whatever?" But didn't seem to slow them down any. They made adjustments, a little harder on the stick, like a little extra second with it, quick peek, maybe make sure it was there, but. Man, I'm starting to get some of the plays back in my head, and it's just like, I don't even care about the goals and stuff, man. Those were nice, but some of just the smallest like intricacies of the game was insane. That was a big word.
Someone told me this morning that Pittsburgh lost 3-0. They could have told me they won 3. They would have won 3-0. I don't care about the score. I'm there, they're on the power play. Sid's in the corner. I'm 5 feet away from him. I'm looking at his eyes and how zoned he is on his 360-degree situation. Everything. That was a thing. 300. What's that guy's name from?
From who?
Jersey Shore.
Oh.
He's like his name was The Situation. Sorry, that's irrelevant, but I just thought of that. But you're looking at Sid's eyes, and you're seeing the puck go right, left, low, high, slot, back to the corner, and Sid's eyes are just locked in. There's no, I don't know. There's just no fault note on his body language, his feet positioning, his stick. His stick is always available for someone to be able to hit him, because he knows he has 4 other world-class players that can get him the puck at any time.
With chemistry out there,
so
too.
Sid's not going, "Hey, give me the puck, I'm right here," because he doesn't have to, because everyone knows where he is. Yeah. And I don't know, just being able to see his eyes, his eyes just drew me in. He's just locked in. It was because his eyes were the cheat code. You'd see what he wanted to do, and then he did it. Yeah, exactly.
Fire it the other way.
Just a little if he's going right, he's not going right away. He's going left, then right. Because he
finds a spot.
Because he wants the defender to go. He's going left. No, I don't know. Just those things you don't notice. You can't see that on TV.
No,
but
God, no.
Up close and personal, even down low, everyone's like, Sid, he's so really strong down low, and he is for sure.
Yep.
But he cheats down low. He will, if you're a defender and he's coming at you, he'll put his weight on you, and then bounce right off you, use you like a trampoline.
Yeah.
There was times where he easily could have just kind of turned around, skated, but he wouldn't have had that gap.
Yep.
But he makes that gap by hugging you a little and then just bouncing right off. I thought that was really cool. He created his own space, even though he already had it, but he just wanted a little bit more,
Yeah, and that's what I think makes him not good but great.
Yeah.
It's little things. And let's be real, he's not the biggest guy, he's not the tallest guy, and he kind of came up in the era still of the rough and tough dump and change 1-2-2 trap shit through the new, so he had to grind down low. And it's just like you said, just the smallest little things, and you don't notice it on TV. You're like, how did he get free there? And then they still don't see it in the replay, but you see it from 3 rows up, and you're going, this is what separates him from the everybody else, man. And I think
he's tick. He's a tick boy. He is thick.
Oh,
he is tick.
man.
That one hit in the corner. I don't know.
Right in front of us.
Yeah, I don't know who it was on, but he didn't even lay into him, but he just bounced right off from the guy from Ottawa.
Do you think, speaking of hits, do you think that those boards are different than what they're playing on? Because a couple of those hits in front of us it was like hitting into a piece of paper towel. You know what I mean? It was just...
Metro Center boards are some of the best.
Yeah, you don't care about being hit at the Metro Center. You're not shying away.
Do I got a booger right now? I'm self-confident. Self-conscious. No, the Metro Center boards.
Yeah, real deal.
Just top 10.
I wanted to go back about the play you were talking about with the eyes. I remember early in the game, Batherson, he had come through underneath at the winger, got a pass, low support. He was coming up the ice, and he was looking straight ahead. And there was a guy streaking in behind the D-man at the boards, and you're like, that's the option. That's where he's going. And he just went and fired across ice on a absolute seed. Didn't even look. So basically, he passed it to you, but he was looking over here. Yeah, there's my guy, like that. And I just remember being like, holy shit. Like, maybe that doesn't trigger the average hockey fan. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bigger hockey fan than most people, but you and I were both just like,
yeah,
wow. Well, he fooled us in the seats.
It's just how quick he does it. Like, we could do it, but he's doing that a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, we're sitting there 2-3 beers deep going, oh, sick. But you're on the ice and you see how quick they're going, and he does that shit. Oh, my God. World-class player. World-class.
You do really get to see why they're where they are, you know?
He was arguably the best player on the ice last night, too.
Yeah.
Like, Batherson played really well. I thought Tkachuk played well. Like, he played his game.
Yeah, he didn't switch any. He's like back just Tkachuk. That's what he was.
He's just like, he played his game. He, maybe not the style of game that Pittsburgh was looking for on a preseason game, because he was laying hit. And he's wearing a cage, too, so he couldn't drop him. But still, as a fan, I appreciate him on the forecheck, laying body. That's what you want to see as a fan who's paying X amount of dollars to get in that building last night. I think some guy, so Tkachuk hit someone, and everyone's like, hey, come on, what's going on? And then the fan behind us goes, these boys are getting paid to try, right? I lost it.
There was some very good banter. There was like that older guy, I think, with his kids behind us, and and I'd like sometimes you hear people, they're yelling like shoot and like get them and stuff, and you're kind of just like, oh my God. But these, I remember going, great point. Like, even by the little kids, they would say something. I'm like, man, good point. Now I know a couple of Bud Lights will make you go think about it and go, okay, maybe he's right. But I just thought like the commentary in the stands and where we were situated in the game was part of the experience as well. We had like the Stackhouse was beside us, and Ritz was up behind us.
Right there.
Danton right there. Wouldn't feed his damn family. He's just sitting there eating hot dogs. But I let him know anyways. But yeah, that's part of the experience, man. And for us to be there was sick, man. Like, it's definitely old man in the straw, something you're not going to forget. It's pretty crazy.
It is. They showed, I don't know if you remember this too, but they showed Kyle Dubas up on the screen.
Yeah.
And there's someone like 3 rows back that goes, oh, that's the Montreal Canadiens old coach.
Yeah. And then
I lost it.
And then someone goes, no, it was the kid. The kid called out his own father or whatever. He was like, no, man. He's like, that's the old GM of the Maple Leafs. And the kid, he's like, oh, okay. Yeah,
but there was like a debate for like a minute on whether or not it was the old coach for the Montreal Canadiens. I lost it. It was so funny.
Oh my God, man. I wish I knew those guys' name and line, man. When that stuff happens, it's kind of like weird when guys come up to you. And I'm pretty sure the guy used us to cut the line, but
shout out to those
when
boys.
People want pictures, you're just kind of sitting there like, why? Like, I get it. We sometimes, interview big dogs, and we do a lot around here, but it's just like, it's still funny to me that someone's like, hey, you guys want to get a picture? Like, that happened like 10 times to you last night.
Awesome.
And then or you ask them, if someone goes, hey, Justin, high button, and you're like, you want to get a picture? Yeah. Put them on the spot, and they're like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty crazy.
It's validation that it's working, the company.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like all ages too, man. Like, there was a dad that came and stopped, a couple dads, and there's like the young guys that know us, and then it's like the middle-aged guys, and then it's just, sometimes it's weird getting the eyes because you do feel them, but you just got to stay in the zone like we do, because I always love when people are like, you guys watching or working? And we're like, both, baby.
Like, why aren't you up in the press box? Why aren't you up in the VIP? We're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're interviewing the people, not the players. They don't let us in.
No, exactly. And that's another thing that I find really helps us, and it goes back to the Troy thing with the respect. A couple guys were like, look, there's this person, and we're like, cool, man, those guys are dealing with enough. We want to know what the people, the fans, because that's what we are. We're just like regular folk in amongst all the peasants, but we just happen to have a camera and a mic. Yeah, and people want to talk to you. So
rule of thumb, camera mic gets you into places.
Yeah,
it'll get you far in life. No, overall, just unbelievable experience. The warm up was even juiced. Well, the 10 minutes I was in, even afterwards, I just didn't want to leave. Tried to sneak in, remember? But the Zamboni door. Because
I forgot all about that.
Because I saw everyone walking up, and I was like, I'm not leaving. What does Leonardo DiCaprio say? I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking leaving. I'm staying. That was like me in the Scotiabank Center.
Don't wanna
After.
leave.
I'm not leaving.
Game's over, but no, it's not. It's
Paid
not.
$1,000 for these tickets. I'm sitting right here.
Buddy
carry me
shut it
out.
down pretty quick, didn't he?
But that's the thing. I saw some people go through there.
Yeah.
And I was like, they didn't show, because, my peripherals, they're all right. Yeah. And I look, and these people just walk down. They didn't show credentials. There is 2 people. So I go, I'm trying that. Mm-hmm. And then we get there. Buddy goes, no, he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm going to see Sid.
I got his jersey on, Christ's sakes.
And he goes, no. He goes, stop. He goes, stop the stairs, boys. Get out of here.
Like, okay. See, that's when you leave, right?
Because he had that demeanor of like, it didn't matter what I was going to say, he's shutting us down.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tell him the truth. I'm going to see Sid.
Actually, you might go, oh, yeah, you guys family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I just interviewed Troy. Here's the picture.
I'm his 13th cousin.
Yeah.
There's probably a few people like that come out of the woodworks for things like this. Like, I read an article this morning. I don't know who it was from, but Sid was in triple digits for ticket requests. He's like, yeah, I got a big family, and like, I guess, like, obviously Batherson and all those guys, but that's one thing that you probably don't realize is how many family members of his are actually in the rink, not in like a press box,
Yeah.
So there's a large portion of those tickets, but I mean, deservedly so. That guy's put Nova Scotia on the map. Erik Karlsson said it the best in his interview. He was like, I don't care who you are or where you play, where Sid's from.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Karlsson used the term something Dartmouth across the pond. Like
yeah, he's from the dark side.
Dark side, yeah. Which
there.
is like, that's pretty crazy for him to say the dark side, because that's like when you grow up here, that we know that, but not some guy from Sweden who just got traded to Pittsburgh calls it the dark side. So it's pretty funny, man. It was crazy.
I do want to give a shout out to Boko.
Yeah.
Imama, who he didn't play in Halifax, but he played in Cape Breton 2 nights ago. And right as we were kind of starting the street interviews, he was right there. And I just didn't know if you remembered, but he came on the podcast I think 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Boko, like, I'm Justin. You came on our podcast 4 years ago. And I don't know, he could have been bullshitting me, but he's like, oh man, yeah, I remember. How are you? Things look good. Things are good. So also, he gave us the time of day. Like, we talked to him for a bit when we weren't recording. And then I was like, actually, do you mind if we just do like a quick little interview? He was like, yeah, man, do your thing. And then we ended up talking to him for like 10 minutes. So time of day, great guy. And then also, as I posted that picture on our story, Liam O'Brien messaged me and he goes, big Boko, attaboy.
Yeah.
And then I replied to Liam. I was like, man, what a weapon he is. Mm-hmm. He gave us all the time in the day. What am I trying to say? He gave us all the time in the world.
Yep.
Great guy. And then Liam replied, he's like, yeah, that's Boko. We'll do anything. Great guy. So shout out to Boko, great guy.
Absolutely, man.
Good guy.
And it's tough too, like he's not playing.
Yeah, it is.
He's kind of trying to get away from the mix a little bit, because what did he say? He's like, I just figured I'd go for a little walk, stay moving, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, at that point, you're just probably not trying to talk to too many people. Yeah. Probably not. I don't know what he's thinking, but at that point you're going, because I know you kind of like, we're like, hey, do you tiptoe around it? Do you have a sec? And you just want to get a feel for it, right?
Well, that's why I didn't want to record, because I looked back at you and your camera was down. And I was like, good play. Don't go up to with the camera
Not
now.
Right away.
And he asked, he goes, are you guys recording? And I go, no. But actually, do you mind if we have a quick interview? Yeah. You don't jump right in there and go,
no.
How much did you sign for? When are you free agent? Bullshit. Just, how are you, Boko? Good to see you. Great game last night. You played a real physical game. That's awesome. How things going? You fly in last night? You take the bus?
What'd you have for supper?
That's what'd you have for supper? Exactly. I'm starving. Got any leftovers?
Yeah. Where are you staying? Where's your room? Yeah. But it's a respect thing too, right? And I think, not that we were NHL players by any stretch of the term, but
I'm still trying.
You want to give the guys their space, man. Like, it's easy to be all up and hot and horny over guys in the NHL, but you just gotta
Sokolov.
Yeah, exactly.
He was. We saw Soko yesterday, friend of the show ×2.
Yeah,
and we saw that he was on an important phone call. Looked like he was talking to someone who was trying out for another team. I heard him say, like, "Stay calm. It's gonna be all right. Just work hard. Forecheck, yada yada." And he just goes like, one sec. And I was like, all right, sounds good. But you don't want to, you can just tell he's in something important. Interview can wait, Soko.
Yes,
don't worry about it.
And the other part of it too is like, you look at the body language from him too, and I think that's one thing I mentioned to you is like, if if you're on the call in that situation and you're trying to figure something out and you got two guys hovering around you with a camera and a mic, you're not thinking about what's going on in the call. You're like, get these guys out of here.
Yeah.
So we just went, okay, the body language looked like it was a serious call. Let's move on. We'll do another lap. There's 1,000 other people walking around these streets. Easy pickings, man. Easy pickings. People at bars, people at pizza places, Willie's, all that stuff, right? So
you know what I also really respected was Ryan Bonus taking a loop to get to the Scotiabank Center, because where they were staying, they were there at the hotel. He easily could have just walked out the front, taken a left, went right to the rink, but he decided to take it all in, and that's what life is all about, taking it in. So he came out the hotel, hooked a right, went down to Dirty Nelly's, took a left past 5 guys, and took the long way to the rink.
Good point.
Shook hands, saw Dixon, they had a conversation, saw him talk to like 5 other people. That is what it's all about. I remember there was one guy in the MLB, he was a catcher, his first ever game. This was like last year. And before he went to the catching mound to like warm up a bit, he stopped, did a 360, just looked at everything around him and took the moment in. And that's what this life is about, taking those moments in. You know, he's an assistant GM for Ottawa. He's in his
Local guy.
hometown.
Yeah.
You know, take it in. And that's what he did. Looked great, had the suit going, clean shave, had the
Oh,
good
yeah.
hair.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he'll be a full-time GM, like a big, you know, he already is a big dog, but he'll be a head GM soon.
Yep.
And you know, he even stopped, shook our hands, said, "What
Yeah.
you guys going to the game?" I go, "Yeah, we got to do a little work, street interviews first, and then we'll be in there." He goes, "All right, I'll see you there."
Yeah,
So he's
he-
a good, you know, just take it in.
especially as a local guy too, like he made his way through the hockey world here, until he
Yeah.
got to there. But to take it all in as a local guy, I think you kind of have to, man. And at the same time, as much as the hockey's a game, it's a business, right?
It is.
So you don't ever know when your day is up, right?
Yeah.
So like take it all in, And the catcher you referred to was Adley Rutschman, I'm pretty sure, for the Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
He did a 360.
Yeah, because
How cool was that?
It almost gives you chills watching it, because you're like, great job, man. Like, like I took it in last night, and I was a fan. And when I looked down at you the first time, I thought we weren't in our seats, like you said.
Yeah.
We all just thought we were down there for warm up. And I saw you looking around, taking it in, and I'm like, that's what it's all about, man. So I'm like, fuck that, I'm going down and taking it all in
I
too.
forgot about that. Like, yeah, so like where the corner is, that's where all like the kids go to like hold their signs and get pucks. And we're just there with the kids, with the signs and everything. And then warm-up's over, and you're like, all right, let's go get a beer. And I was like, okay, well, let's just wait. And you're like, what do you mean wait? I'm like, well, these are our seats. And you're like, oh, that's why we're here. You just didn't know.
No, because you bolted right down to the glass, and I'm like, man, he is horned up right now for this.
Yeah, because
you
those
went
are-
down there, you're in there with all the kids and their signs. They're like, I'll trade my dad for a puck, and you're just down there
You thought I was
standing.
just pushing kids aside because I wanted to get close to the glass.
Well, the weird part after they went off and the buzzer went and the Zamboni started to come out, you just sat down in the seat. And I was like, oh, we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay, these are our seats, because we were right in the door and right down the thing like we were 7, Give me the Sid.
Well, I was like, I was pushing kids, but like I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't say that's my seat, but I was like, I'm standing here.
There was only 4 seats in the section too.
Yeah, I'm standing.
Unreal,
I'm
man.
Standing here, but no, that was the seats were just me. I'm a big details guy.
Yeah.
You can't see details on TV. See them 3 rows up from
Sweating.
the glass. You just. Even like Letang got a little chop. I think it was actually Highmore. Highmore had like a nice hit on Letang, and you were like, Letang's done. He's over.
Oh yeah, he went right to the bench.
He went right to the bench, and you can even like see the trainer talk to him. It's like, what's wrong? Like, I love that, the game in the game.
Yeah, man. There's so many small details of the game that have nothing to do with the actual on ice play.
Yeah.
That's why I said that, because we're up where we were in World Juniors. Don't get me wrong, great atmosphere up there, but you wouldn't have been able to see the body language as clear, because he kind of like took a whack, and then you could just see him kind of process it, going, okay, like my hand still works, and you could just see him kind of like, that was, that didn't feel the greatest, so I'm just gonna go. He made the pass, he moved up ice, and then he went to the bench, and you're like a hawk. You're like, what's he doing? Is he hurt? Because then if he is, you were right. Not that I wanted him to get hurt, but it's what we're saying here is like the details of how close you are to the players, and like
you can make
the
your own
body
assessment.
Yeah, right away.
Like, oh no, that's a shoulder. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's a wrist. Like, you can just make your own
Upper
opinion.
body injury.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I want to say shout out to Highmore. Played really well last
Didn't
night.
he?
His feet did not stop moving. He finished every shift. He was all over the ice. He got great ice time because we're still trying out. So he made every shift count. Every time he was on the ice, I noticed him. Like you'll see, there were sometimes, guys are on the ice, you don't even know they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Highmore, you just saw him
Whole
every
time.
time, whole time, feet moving, head up, stick on the ice, just grinding. So shout out to you, Matt. Love you, buddy. Great game last night.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more, actually. And I do, before I forget this, I want to ask you a question. And this is on a more serious note. We had a couple people stop us, one from out west in particular. I guess basically what I want to know was, how does that make you feel as the business owner and a guy that's in the trenches with us all the time, that a guy from out west listens to us and I think this is the quote, get him through his workday or his travel to work to and from? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because we do this, we assume people might watch, but to have people all around the world, especially a guy come right up to us from out west, he's probably from here obviously, but what does that mean to have people kind of look out for our content and look out for what we're doing so that they can enjoy their day because of it?
So I'll break it down. It was right in the corner, actually, so just a great, 10 minutes of warm-up that we got to watch. I'm watching Sid grinning ear to ear, and then there was a gentleman in front of me that turned around and said, hey, I'm a big fan of your content. I live out west. You keep me connected to this side of the world, which I love. And you got mixed, you're trying to watch Sid and then you're trying to answer this guy. Like, you got mixed emotions right away. But, 10 minutes after is when that stuff sinks into me. Like, in the moment, you don't really think about it. But afterwards, you think about it for sure. And it means, the world to me. It's, a lot of people might think that I do this for, the whole fame thing. You can look a little selfish sometimes. I posted a fucking video of myself getting a picture with a fan today. Like, it looks maybe selfish sometimes from the outside, but at the end of the day, the true heart of the company is for other people. I think about myself as a kid and what I wanted within entertainment value of the game of hockey, and that's what I work towards. And if that connects people from out west, then so be it. It's not that I necessarily do it for people out west. I just do it for that kid in me that wanted to be mic'd up. I do it for that kid that wanted to go into my dad's car and go, what the hell play are you talking about, Dad? I don't remember that. And I can go home and see it. I do it for that kid that wants to get better, and the kid, like I said, that wants that entertainment value in hockey. But it is cool. It's an unbelievable experience. You can't buy that stuff. Like, same with the photos.
Yeah.
You can't pay someone to go, hey man, can you come up to me and ask me if you want a photo with me? You can't, like, that's the best feeling, man. Money can't buy that type of stuff. A guy have a complete stranger go, hey man, I love what you do. I live out west. You keep me connected to this side of the world. Come on.
Yeah.
It's the world class. It's world class. It's the best feeling. It's the best.
That's a fantastic answer. I wanted to nip that in the butt because I was going to forget number one, but just more people. It's funny because at the beginning people recognized me, and now people recognize you. So I just kind of sit back and I do what Adley Rutschman did. When that stuff's going on, I take it in. I try and get all the details from it that I can. And you and I are both getting older. We're not as the tough macho guy that's like, oh, I'm not going to show any of my emotions. Like, it's when people say that and you're kind of like, you laugh for a sec internally and you're like, that's pretty crazy that this guy's, we're connecting him to the East Coast. But for the guy to take the time and come up and tell us, because it's not easy, guys, they're not the most open people to go up and say, hey, I love what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. So I thought that was a really cool moment. And there was a few of them during the game, and I'm not trying to brag or sound cocky, but at the end of the day, sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you do, it's not that I want you to come up and tell me good job, but it's just nice to know that people are enjoying it and they are paying attention, and it's us that's providing it, because we're just a couple old ex-Pee-wee-AA Halifax Hawks, like, who are we to get pictures with people, right? But it's very cool, man, and it kind of gives you a little bit of chills when people do that stuff to you and come up and say those things.
A little bit. It's a little bit chilly.
For sure.
Can you pass me my water? Appreciate it. Oh, wow, he's still there, Yeti.
Yeah, Yeti baby.
Just give me 1 second.
What a shot that's going to be. Hydrated, baby. That's what we do. We're sports. Yeah, man, what a night, honestly. And then, even afterwards, some of the best things, too. You get to hang out with some of your old buddies, like Dixon was out, Tony, our old coach. There's just guys out there that you have time of the day to give. And
well, we're all busy. We're we don't have kids yet, but we got a mortgage and all that stuff, and we're busy as hell. So to be able to essentially see everyone, you get to see Simmer. Like you said, you saw boys, you saw
Billy, even
Tony, you saw Bill, you saw Dixon, saw Ryan Bonus, you saw Boko. It's just you end up at the end of the night seeing 50 people who you haven't talked to in such a long time, but you're just like brothers again whenever you see them. It's just there's so many good people in hockey.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
like,
It gets dragged through the mud, but there's so many good people, you know?
all we want to do is help other people. It's all like, yeah, we like to get after it and we have fun and we work hard for sure. And maybe that can be perceived as not a positive thing, but man, at the end of the day, we're good-hearted people. We just want to work hard and have fun and make sure other people are doing well. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
what it comes.
pretty much what it boils down to. It's funny too because people will ask every now and then. It's funny now. I get a lot more questions about like the business side of things instead of like, oh, I seen your ref mic'd up video, like those back in the day. But people are like, and I always just tell people like our business model is exactly what you said, dude. To be able to provide something that we would have loved to have, because I'm always like, oh, you know, I scored 51 goals in novice AA. There's no proof.
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't, but now you can. You know, like if you were in Pee Wee, imagine we had videos of Pee Wee back then. But our whole business model is just, you know, there's so much talent here that doesn't really get exposed that much. So for us to be able to do that for these kids, and you know they love it. You know, like I would have loved to have the camera on me or have mic'd up or whatever. But that's our business model, is to picture what we would have loved as a player or as a fan and make it happen.
That's all. Like in any, like if you're trying to start a business, all you need to do is find out. Any business ideas are everywhere. A business idea is the easiest thing in the world. You just find it. What do people like to do? What do people want? What do people need? What do people, people need water. Sell water. People will buy it eventually. But the hard part is how do you execute?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
The thought of it is easy.
Yeah, the thought, like there's demands. You walk outside, you talk to one person, just go, hey, what do you need? What do you want? They'll tell you. You'll have a business. But can you execute?
Yeah, and consistently.
Can you consistently? Can you fail? Can you get up? Can you sleep on a couch? Can you sleep at a bus stop? Can you be homeless? Can you be digging through your couch for toonies to get a slice of pizza, knowing that you got no prospects, nothing for years and years and years and years?
Speaking from experience, of course.
It's all right. No, we're good now.
But it's a grind, right? It is. And that's
sure.
one thing I do say is that sometimes it may look like this is just a hobby for us. Like, oh yeah, we just sit down in the studio and shoot the shit. But like, a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the cameras and the prep work. And like, if you look around this studio right now, there is 600 cords. All, you know what I mean? There's cameras everywhere.
This could be recording. This could not be. I don't know if these cords are even plugged in.
That's it. So there you go. But no, it's definitely a fun job, man. And it's this year, dude. Come on, World Juniors, Canada wins gold. We go downtown. I wore hockey gear this year. We got to wear the Crosby jersey. Like I was saying to you, I'm a 32-year-old man, and I don't feel weird about wearing a hockey jersey to a game. And this team wasn't even playing. Rimouski, yeah, take a look. Sid was. But it's like, and there's like 75-year-old people wearing jerseys, and it's just like it just brings out your inner child, and that's mainly what my point is here, is that that's what this job does for me specifically.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't ever really want to grow up. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah, man, it's sick.
It's
like, what's the next thing we're doing,
Here's what I thought about when Bill Burr came here. He posted a video on Instagram saying, "Oh, Halifax, I'm going to be back when I got some free time." Do you think any of the players that came here are like, man, I'm coming here next summer just to check it out? Because, they're kind of here in summer weather.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think Malkin's ever like, maybe before I head back to Russia, I'll stop in Halifax, sleep with Sid, go do something else, I don't know. It's a buzzing city, and they got really lucky with the weather here for the past 3 days. So I was just wondering if any players are like, man, I'm going to definitely come back to the city with the wife and kids and do something.
I would have to say yes. And I know a lot of people, like the players got interviewed, what's your favorite thing about Nova Scotia? And people were like, seafood. And that's like, in our head, you're like, yeah, duh, that's the obvious answer. But it's, some people just don't come from a place that has fresh seafood like this. Like that actually is a big deal. Sid said Citadel Hill, which is just, vet time with him. But I would say definitely, man, like you get here, they got the 4 sunniest days of the year. So whatever they did to bring the sun here, continue that.
Thank you.
You're on the water. The boys all showed up in the Nova Scotia tartan ties, which is a fantastic look.
Inside scoop, Sid bought them for everyone.
That's
Don't tell anyone who's listening, but that's an inside scoop.
Yeah, where our sources at the rink told us that.
Don't tell anyone. Okay, keep going.
But yeah, man, like we take it for granted because we live here, right? It's the waterfront. Yeah, it's the ferry. It's whatever. It's the lower deck. It's blah blah blah. But you come here, man, it's beautiful. The light is like, and people will see in the video once we drop it, like the light coming off the buildings and just like the towers and stuff. And people can complain all you want about how crowded it is down there, but man, the setting is magnificent on the water like that.
The rink is located perfectly too. right downtown. There's 18 bars right, and you could throw a rock to the rink from all the bars.
Piss
around,
on them from there,
Oh
you
my
know?
God, it's just perfectly located.
Yeah, so I would say, to answer your question for sure, there's definitely going to be people that'll be coming back, man. And Sid hyped this place up, dude. Like he did. That's what
His whole career he had.
Letang said. He was like, this is great that he gets to do this because this is something he really wanted to do. And, you know, Sid, he's a community guy.
Yeah.
But he's like, he's been hyping this place up and he's been showing us everything and telling us what it's like to be here. And I think that's...
Let me just break that down for a second. No offense to any other players. Like when, you know, some guys go to Sweden, they'll play the game. And
Yep.
What team do you know that comes to a city for an exhibition game, goes to the IWK to visit sick kids, runs a hockey camp after practice at the rink, does a Q&A with but here's the thing, dudes. I'm not even talking about Sid. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Like,
Yeah.
Sid was off doing his other thing, but the Penguins, the other players, went to the IWK, did a Q&A at Cole Harbor Place with some of the fans. Did what else did they do? Oh yeah, they ran that hockey camp.
Yep.
Dudes, that is a special. I don't even want to say hockey player. That is a special human being.
Organization as a
That
whole.
is a special organization.
Yeah.
They're not even hockey. Think of sports.
Yep.
Who does that? Who goes to another city and essentially is like, oh, so I'm not here just to play hockey. I'm here to go back and give to the community. And this is all because of number 87 in the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yep.
Like, if you're a player, third year in the league, and you're maybe traded to Pittsburgh, you know, you're just like, whoa, it is a different mentality here. This isn't just a business, play hockey, make money. This is, we're changing lives here. And for all of this to come full circle, from Sid to put it into motion, and then for the Pittsburgh Penguins to carry it through and schedule it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, think about it. You're the Pittsburgh Penguins event coordinator. You get this thrown across your desk three months ago. They go, okay, wait, so we're going to the hospital. We're going to do Q&A with Cole Harbor. We're going to run a hockey camp, and we're going to play a game.
In 3 days?
You're just like, wow, like, so different, so cool, and you're going 100% yes, I'm doing it because it's for Sid, the best guy in the world. You just don't. Not even. This is bigger than sports. Like, he's making people's lives. It's so
100%.
It's just so different, so cool, so
Kind of gave me
just
chills.
like, he's so selfless. It's not about him. Like,
Ever. Ever, man.
Like, I remember when they were doing the video with I know Malcolm was joking around.
Yeah.
They're in the rage room, sick room, by the way.
Yes.
He goes, do they know I'm here? Like, tell them, Malcolm. If you look at Sid just puts his head down because he's like embarrassed because he's like, he's right. Yeah, he's like, I wish they would say Malcolm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. That's world class. I feel like the word GOAT is thrown around way too lightly these days.
But in this case, GOAT.
Not even in terms of an athlete. Obviously, he's the greatest hockey player of this generation, but he's up there in the GOATs of just people, like Gandhi and stuff. Like, he's up there. Like, I don't know other, we can go talk all day about great people, but
That's not what we're doing. We're talking about the organization.
the organization is Sid. He's up there.
He's top notch, man. I think if he could have it any way at all, he wouldn't be in the limelight. Like, he knows that he's the best, and he always has. But like you said, he's like kind of like, oh shit, like he's right. Like, like Letang's here and Jari's here and all those guys, and he's just like, man, if I could have it my way, I'd stay out of the limelight. But you want to talk about a guy who's in the limelight all the time. I know I just said that word 15 times, and you just. He's never got caught up in anything negative. Nothing he does is for him, like you said. It's absolutely wild. And these guys were only here for a few days, dude. It would have been just as easy to come, do a couple pregame skates, have the crowd there, maybe sign some sticks, get a couple pictures, and fuck off and do your thing, right? Like, but they didn't. They were in the community. And this is just how being a professional is so much different than your average amateur athlete. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, when we played junior, we went to schools and shit, but it's like, that's not the same, man. Like, these guys are the busiest athletes in the world right now, and for them to rip on a flight, come here, look out for all of us here in Halifax, just because of Sid.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's huge, man. And I think that's a place like Halifax and Nova Scotia, period, or even just the Maritimes, really, really accepts that, and they soak that in, and that's going to be something that people take with them forever. Oh, you should have seen what they did while they were here 20 years ago, and it's so much bigger than hockey, and that's one thing that, I mean, even myself forgets to realize is that in the grand scope of things, hockey is really minimal at this point.
I also want to give this is just a shout out podcast. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Penguins Twitter team. You guys brought us into your family for the past 4 days and allowed us to see some incredible footage that will be going down in history, at least here in the Maritimes.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to see the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Cole Harbor place. Come on.
Yep.
Like the whole team. Carl, like the whole team, like Malkin, the guy from Russia, is in Sid's backyard. Sid and Malkin have been friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
And now Malkin finally got to come here and skate at a rink where Sid grew up 2 minutes down the road. Like, I don't know. It's just shout out to the Pittsburgh Penguins Twitter team. You guys, I don't know if you can win Emmys or
through that
for Twitter, but man, if you could, you guys deserve one.
Yeah, that was
awesome. You guys helped us out because it's tough. All especially us as a company, we're content whores. We want to be shooting the content ourselves, but if we can't, we hope someone else is, and
we can share it for you. Yeah.
The pen's delivered. So thank you, Pittsburgh Penguins Twitter team.
I want to go back to the Malkin thing. Do you know, like, how do I explain this? Like, when you're a player, if say they went to Russia, like, you're interested to see where Malkin grew up playing, and you're interested. You're interested to see where like all these guys play, but they come from all different parts of the world, and it's like they come here and they're like, this is where Sid played. They got the monumental picture in Cole Harbor Place that's been there. That's a staple at that place. Like there's like small details of like what you would remember when you come here. But I'm just picturing like guys coming from out of town, from Russia, from Germany, from Sweden, and they're like, Cole Harbor, like now we're going there, we get to see, and you probably have this like scope of what it's going to be, and then you get there and you're like, holy shit, this is not what I thought, or this is way crazier than I thought it was, because Cole Harbor Place is an older rink, you know what I mean? It's been around for a long time, and for a guy from wherever in Russia that Malkin is, the guy can't even speak English yet, and he's coming here, and and you can tell that they're comfortable too, right? Like he's just joking around and setting the kids up for questions and stuff, but it would be super cool to see where everybody grew up playing, and I know you could never do that, but it would be super cool to do that. Like imagine where Jaromir Jagr grew up playing. Go see that.
Awesome. And also like knowing the hospitality. Like I know you asked that question. You're like, what's your favorite part about Halifax? And some people said food, but a lot of people said the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like if you are Malkin coming from a different country, and obviously he's climatized to North America, but I guarantee the hospitality he received these past 3 days is up there in his books. He was treated like a king, just like Sid here. Like, if you're Sid's Robin to his Batman, you're getting treated just as well as he is.
And he's just such a great guy too, you know what I mean? Like that's what you hear for the most part is he's just such a happy-go-lucky guy, and think about him in your dressing room, dude. Like the energy's going to be high, the vibes are going to be good. You have the ultimate leader beside you, plus you got a guy like Malkin who's kind of like that bounce and that almost like that the in-between, super serious and super jokey. He's like right down the middle, and you need those guys, man. And I think that is why they were successful over the years. Now, granted, these guys are a little bit older now, right? So it's a little bit harder for them to win, but no, man, it's cool to see them smiling and laughing and just acting like regular kids again, right?
They're the best. How much time are we at?
No idea. 47 minutes.
47 minutes right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's without an intro and without a... Okay.
Jays start playoffs tonight. We'll say that really quick.
We'll end on that. I got nothing on the Jays, dudes. I'm
done. Just let them play. Fuck it.
I'm not gonna be here and be all pity patty, and I'm not gonna shit on them if they got to do what they got to do. But I'll pull up my Vladdy jersey tonight. I'll pull it out and I'll wear it. I'll sit on that couch and I'll edit and I'll watch.
Yes. It's your due diligence as a Canadian is to watch.
It's my due diligence as a Canadian to watch. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do?
Well, I start beer league tonight, so
what time's your game?
Not till 9, so that's
the game
good.
Will be over.
Yeah, especially with the new rules in play. But yeah, no, I'll be watching. If it's sports, man, I'll watch it. Like I'm not going to sit down and watch Jerry Springer or whatever. If there's a
Don't
sport.
don't diss Jerry Springer. That's good stuff.
It's my old lunchtime show. But,
yeah?
before we do finish, man, I just wanted to, I don't know if you were going to do this, but I wanted to just thank everybody that came up to us last night. You know, you make a couple bums like ourselves feel pretty cool out and about. That's not what it's about for us, but it's definitely cool. People coming up, loving the brand, knowing our names, wanting pictures, and just, you know, just wanting to hang out and have a chat. And I think you and I have a lot of time for that stuff. We love to chum it up. I know everybody knows that I do, but it's a really cool feeling when people are watching and they're coming up to you and just treating you like, you know, like stars, which we're not, but it's cool, man. So if you came up to us last night, or you follow our content, or you whatever, you subscribe to our page and you never got a chance to see us, thanks a lot, because it's without them, we're nothing, you know?
I couldn't have said it better myself, dudes. All right, we'll leave it at that. You guys rock. Enjoy the week. It's Tuesday, actually. Yesterday was a holiday. It's Tuesday. Have fun. Work hard. Sun is out. Get a little tan going. Pull the sleeves up. We're going to be freezing our asses off here in like 2-3 weeks, so enjoy it while you can, all right? We are out. Peace.
Peace.